To no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice.
Anything you like, be free. Oh, he winces, regroups.
Imagine taking away women's right to vote.
And reader, I left him. I also left the door of the freezer open.
I will need fresh shoes soon, but have no aversion to rummaging through the charity shops of Kentish town. A lady of immaculate appearance will be considered eccentric, not derelict. The wrist room at the Strand Palace, the 91 from Trafalgar Square, has hand cream to splodge where it chafes, and Phoenix has a splendid array of fine fragrances in its powder room, but Harrods is the best for complimentary makeovers, although I'll make do with any of the others. 72 cosmetic counters within a hair's breadth of Oxford Circus. I feign interest, wait for the assistant to offer, never ask too obvious. And hey presto, I am moisturised and painted. I enthuse about all the products, but just as I'm about to seal the deal, my phone will thwart the sale. Oh no, how awful. My whisper is tearful. I'll be right over. You poor thing. I thank the assistant and promising to return at, I do so loathe funerals. My skin is bright from the fresh air of nighttime walking. My nails are clean and I smell like crushed rose petals.
Tabernacle Lane by Jeremy Dixon. A line of men waiting, found tiny in the classifieds. The bouncer smiles, let the music decide. To dare to dance with divine, be sure of every cheek reaction. Take pride in his hands, step on stage. A couple of shoulders to trespass on. Here's what my mother never did tell me. How the velvet staircase awaits, lit by the pulse of treacherous fairy lights, leads to what can't be seen in the dark. Wipe armpit sweat with a Kleenex. To hurl at the howling crowd. Never apologise, never hide, never let hate be unopposed. O is the story of Bobby O, GQ man, desperate for a pen, desperate for a telephone number, his bloom of future possibilities, thrown from scorched roofs, strung on barbed wire, blitzed in the dance of Saturday night, for love, and love, and love, and...
In those years, we learned to be ourselves, not look to a man to define who we were. That was new. That was something the war gave us. Bloody hell, Gran, I said. I thought feminism was the 60s. Gran laughs and her face crinkles up like a brown paper bag and her chest wheezes. If we'd have had the pill, we'd have been unstoppable, she says. But that wasn't for another 20 years and too late for us. But we made our own liberation the best way we could. Not like you young women nowadays, creating prisons for yourselves when you've got all this freedom to grab.
They placed him at the end of one of the tables, an empty seat to his left. An ideal vantage point for surveying the room, which he couldn't help doing. Eyes met his and darted away. Hands waved and heads turned, smiling before swivelling back to ask each other if it was really him. It took a moment or two to recognise each person. The men were slender boys encased in flesh sarcophagi, familiar eyes, chins and noses protruding through a sea of matter. The women, without exception, were almost too beautiful to look at. Beautiful of face, of body and of attire. He found himself staring at them the way he'd ogled girls as a teenager. An old college fellow sat opposite him. Fry introduced himself. "Ah, so you're the chap who did some time at Her Majesty's pleasure, am I right?" "Still doing it," said Fry. The Don leant forward with a grin. "Might I ask what you're in for?" "Philosophy, politics and economics."
There once was a king who had ruled his kingdom for many years, and there remained no one who dared to question him. His power was such that there was none upon the earth who he considered his equal. And so, one day, he called down a star from the night sky and bade her walk with him. It was there, in his vast garden, that he asked her to be his wife. "Where would I live?" she asked. "In my castle," the king replied. The star laughed and said she could not, for she was used to the vastness of space, and walls were not to her liking. "Well then, if not in my castle, how about in the fields of my kingdom?" he said, and he showed her the extent of his fields and the vastness of his domain. "All this is mine, and within it you can go where you please, for you would be queen, and none but I would dare to stop you." But still, she refused. "Even your kingdom has borders, and borders themselves are walls," she said. "Walls of another kind, yes, but they constrain all the same." "Then, if not my wife, my prisoner you will be," the king said, and he called for his guards to capture her. To this the star replied, "Wife, servant, prisoner, slave, what difference would it make what you call me? Without choice, the imprisonment is just the same."
The air was thick with the smell of old wool and horses and not terribly well-washed bodies. She could hear the thunder of hooves and feel the vibration of the earth as the animals turned the bend towards them. And then... oh, it all happened so quickly. A blur of confusion. She saw a flash of something white, heard the snorts of the horses as they reared and swerved in fright, saw the white slowly turn red. Dust settled on the scene. The horses stumbled back onto their feet and carried on, one without its rider. People crowded onto the track, forming a circle around the body. Sandra felt a pulse of anger. Why would this woman, ghost or whatever, take her to the races only for them to witness a violent death? It made no sense. The crowd buzzed with distress and indignation. The ghost woman was looking at Sandra. "You do know what this is," she said. Sandra shook her head. How could she be expected to... But a slow something was creeping in as she remembered a history lesson at school or some TV drama. A suffragette had thrown herself in front of a horse, forcing the country's attention on the demand for votes for women. Emily Davidson. The name appeared, although she wasn't aware of having known it. The horse thing had always sounded so extreme. I don't understand, she said. If this was some kind of electioneering stunt, then it seemed rather over the top. It was hard to identify which party this ghost lady could possibly come from. The ghost, or whatever she was, looked down at her watch. Though it wasn't like anything Sandra had ever seen. The face cluttered with information. Could it be one of these eye watches? A time travel device? Sandra wanted to giggle. Hadn't ghosts heard of Einstein and relativity?